Alright, and now we're going to do numbers 12 and 13 from the Geometry Chapter 3 self-test. So we have the figure here and all of the four things we need to find for number 12. And it says that in 12, O is the circle, and it's the center of the circle, shown at the right, and the measure of the arc length from PMD, or the measure of arc length PMD, is 230 degrees. So what that means is that from P, and then all the way along the circle here, along this arc length, from P to and through M, so from P to and through M, all the way around to D, this arc length here is 230 degrees. And we know that there are 360 degrees in an entire circle, and 230 of them are being accounted for from P to and through M to D. This is 230 degrees. So if I was to go the remainder of this distance, that would be 130 degrees. So from D to P is 130 degrees, and we know that because from P to D is 230, as we are told here. And if this arc length is 130 degrees, then the angle at which it's opening from is also 130 degrees. This central angle here is 130 degrees, so that's why I have the 130 here. So this 130 pertains to, or refers to, this angle right here and the arc length right here. Now if this angle is 130, then I know that this angle over here is also 130 because these two angles are vertical angles. So there's 130, there's 130, and if these are each 130, or if this one is 130, then we know that this angle right here is 50 because this is a straight line, and there are 180 degrees in a straight line, and if there's 130 here, there has to be 50 here. Another way to think about that is from W around to P, that's 180 degrees, it's a half a circle. So we have 130, 50, and then you can look at it as vertical angles now. If this is 50, this one over here has to be 50, or you can apply the fact that 130, this angle, and this angle are a linear pair. They make half the circle. That angle is also going to be 50 degrees. And if you look at all four of these numbers, they all add up to 360. 130 plus 130 is 260, plus 50 plus 50 is 360 degrees, and that's what we want. So we know that these numbers are accurate, and now we can answer these questions that we are asked, or find the measures we're asked to find. The measure of arc length PD, so from P to D, and we're going to go this way from P to D, is going to be 130 degrees because, well, that was the first thing we found, from P to D. So notice the difference between, this is also going from P to D, but this is going through point M. So this is PMD going this way, and just PD, arc length PD, is from P straight to D, not going through any other points that are labeled on the circle. So this is 130 degrees. Then we're looking for the measure of angle POM. Here's P to O to M. From P to O to M, the angle that I'm forming there is that 50-degree angle. So measure of angle POM is 50 degrees. We have that right there. The measure of arc length WM, so going from W straight to M, not through any other points. So from W to M, here we go. From W to M, that's this arc length right here. And we can see that that is 130 degrees. And then the arc length MWD, so from M to and through W to D. If I go from M to and through W to D, I've gone a half a circle. I've gone from M to W is 130, from W to D is 50, so that would be 180 degrees, that measure of the arc length MDW. Number 13 is asking us to name 3 pairs of arcs with the same measure, and there's many different answers here, but one arc length that has the same measure are P to D and M to W. P to D, right here, that's that 130 that we found before, and M to W. And if we go back and look at the previous example there where we had those numbers in there, we could see that this was 130 and M to W was 130. So those are the same measure. There's also PM and WD. From P to M and W to D, both of those are those 50-degree arc lengths. And another one we could say is PMW and WDP. PMW is this half circle, from P to M to W, and then WDP is just the other side of the circle, and both of those have 180 degrees in them. And then name 2 pairs of angles with the same measure. Once again, if we go back to the picture from before, that might be pretty easy to do. angle DOW right here where we had that 50-degree angle. Again, that was on that previous example. I don't have it on this circle, but that was there. And POM right here would also have that 50-degree angle there. And it would be easy to see that. Maybe naming them is a little tricky. Kind of maybe think about that for a second. But DOW, we need 3 points to name an angle. DOW and POM. So those two angles are the same measure. And another one we need are angle MOW and POD. MOW, again, that 130-degree angle from our previous picture. MOW and POD is also 130 degrees.